we finally made it past checking in, which seemed to be a bit of a hassle, only because there was a little bit of a line and international check-ins are interesting. But we're here.
And there'll be a lot more coming out.
We are on the way. Welcome to the Petit Hotel. The Petit Hotel is amazing. Oh, nice. We're here at Spiga. We are in Philipsburg. This is another side of the island. They have the French side and the Dutch side.
Dutch side.
The weather's been really great to us. It hasn't been too sunny. It's been a little cloudy and then some sun in between.
Now, I will say it's humid as heck.
Hey guys, we are here at Le Petit Hotel in St. Martin with
Mark Petroluzzi.
beautiful. Well, how do you say your last name again?
Petroluzzi.
Petroluzzi.
Yes.
Lovely, wonderful. Where's that from?
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
Italiano.
Yeah.
Perfecto. So I'm here. He's the owner of this amazing, beautiful boutique hotel, but they also have a sister hotel.
That's
Is
correct.
that the
Yep.
first one?
Correct. L'Esplanade was built first back in 1989. Took a couple years to build it. Our first official season, we like to say, was in 92.
Okay.
And this one opened in 96.
Amazing. Amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
So I have a couple questions for you if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. In your words, what is Le Petit Hotel?
Well, I mean, it really is a little gem. We like to think of it as it's just a perfect little structure that it almost takes care of itself. And it attracts special people to this special little spot, and it's in a very special place, and
It's a diamond.
it is. It's like a diamond in the rough, kind of.
Yeah,
It's
amazing.
really a little special little spot. I mean,
Amazing. Okay, great. And then you already answered for us which hotel came first. That was
Yeah.
my next question.
Yep.
But will you just tell me a little bit, just kind of the history after you decided to make in the '92 to make L'Esplanade, kind of what the style, what inspired this boutique hotel to kind of happen?
Both hotels were designed by the same architect, and that's basically where the concept came from. It wasn't like we had some vision of a specific style we wanted. It's just that this architect, who was just it was basically the first two buildings that he designed on the island that he was able to sign off on. In fact, L'Esplanade, he wasn't even officially a licensed architect on the island, so we had to have the plans signed off by a different architect in Guyana, who we happen to know, and so this was his first actual official design on the island, and so this was his style at the time. Now he's still very prominent on the island, does a lot of the villas in the lowlands and the high-end stuff.
What's his
and
name?
Maurizio Lanari from Argentina.
Amazing.
Yep. He's yes, absolutely. And so he's has a very different style now, but you go to his office and he still has these the pictures of these two buildings on his wall, and he's very proud of them.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too.
Yeah.
I personally didn't get to check out L'Esplanade. I know that you're still
Yeah,
working on
don't come
maintenance
yet.
and stuff.
Give us a little while.
Yeah, but just even this here, that for me has elements of like Morocco and
Yeah.
Spain and Alhambra.
That's right. Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
It's kind of a Mediterranean design at its base, and then my wife and I, my wife mostly, whose taste we went with for the decoration and everything.
She's got great taste.
Yes, I agree. We went more with the Moroccan flair. So you've got the Mediterranean and a lot of Mexican tiles,
Yes.
but then you got the Moroccan light fixtures and mosaic
I
tables.
feel
and stuff
right
like
at
that.
home. I
Good.
love it.
Good,
I'm
good.
Spanish. So.
I gathered that.
All right, I want to talk about something a little bit more of a Debbie Downer just because last year, the entire island, but a lot of the French side was affected by Hurricane Irma.
Correct.
I can imagine Wilma after also affected.
Maria. Yeah, Maria not as much. I mean, Irma really hit the island quite hard, both sides.
Right.
It seems that the Dutch side has recovered a little bit faster. It's very hard, and some people will tell you that the Dutch side didn't get hit as bad or so on, but
it was the size of the entire hurricane was the size of your island.
Oh,
I think,
much bigger. Yeah. It was the biggest storm in the Atlantic ever.
I got stuck in Miami.
Okay, well, it was headed right for Miami, so a lot of people were evacuated and were worried they were going to get hit by the storm.
We didn't have power for 3 weeks.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it was rough, and on the both sides of the island recovered differently because it's a different situation with the government and with aid and everything like that. And the French side has taken a bit longer to get going because a lot of people were waiting on insurance, which took a very long time. And there was a lot more aid, so businesses were able to kind of postpone doing the work because they were getting aid from the government to help and everything. So it kind of makes them not necessarily lazy, but able to kind of do a little more planning. So it's really since the beginning of this year, I'd say even February, March, that the work has really felt like it's been really getting going on the island. That's why when you go through Grand Cause, there's some things open, but you can see the main drag there where all the restaurants are and everything is really under it's right now. Yeah, right now it's when it's really happening. So I'm hopeful that by the beginning of the season, which is in November, December, most everything will be back together aside from a few stragglers or whatever. But I'm hoping that's the plan. They're burying all the electric lines, so there will be less issues when there is a storm.
Prevention.
Exactly.
Okay, and then that actually leads into my next question. What would be the best time for somebody to decide to come out here, either to Le Petit or l'Esplanade? Yeah.
Well, traditionally, our high season is from around November through the winter, basically, because that's when the climate up north, which most of our guests come from New England and in the States in general.
Escaping the cold.
So that's the time when most people come just to get away from the cold. Right. That being said, this time of year is actually quite nice down here. The weather traditionally this time of year is. You don't have the strong breeze that you have in the winter, so that makes for a lot more calmer seas. This where you get those crystal clear days where the sea is crystal clear for snorkeling. It's great. It's not normally as busy as in the winter with the restaurants and everything, so you can get into a restaurant no problem. The shopping is you have a little more space, Okay.
I will say it was July, pretty much the first couple of days of July, and I highly recommend it just because there are a lot of businesses that are open and are willing to work and are willing to, set up reservations and this and that, and it's not so crowded. I thought that I thought it was going to be extremely hot, but it was actually not that bad.
It's not that bad. It doesn't change that much whether it's February or July. I mean, it's maybe 10 degrees Fahrenheit difference. It's not the end of the world.
Right.
And also, everything is less expensive this time of year. So it's a time where you can get deals if you're coming for a longer time and you're going to rent either a villa or even at a hotel. That's a time when you can ask and you might receive because there's a lot less going on. So.
Right. So keep that in mind. I'm definitely going to add that as a note, especially for everybody because I do lots of bargains and lots of Groupons and stuff like that. So it's really smart to come during the low season, but of course, during the high season here, you can expect full on life.
Also, if there is any time that you should maybe avoid coming, especially if you like to plan ahead, is during the month of September, which is the peak of the hurricane season, because that's when you're more likely to have a storm. And unfortunately, there's no way to plan ahead. So if you make all kinds of arrangements a year in advance and then 5 days before you're due to arrive, there's a storm in the Atlantic, you're not really going to even know if it's going to actually hit the island until maybe 48 hours, maybe 3 days before.
And it's a case of it might hit, it might not hit.
It might not hit. So it becomes very difficult to know whether or not you should still go or not go. And so that's, and also, especially after the storm we had, I am guessing that the island is going to be pretty much shut down in the month of September. There's going to be very little to do. Most everything will be closed. There'll be a couple things open, but unless you like to come and really be on your own and go get your food and make it yourself, that's it. Then otherwise, there's a lot's going to be closed in September especially from this year on, I think.
Amazing. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
so much, Mark. And is there anything else that you would like to add? We're going to add links and obviously things to the...
No, I mean, you know, if there's anything I can say that's special about this hotel as well, it's Remy and Yamina who live here and take care of the hotel for us.
Absolutely.
As if it was their own. And I really think that if the hotel was to be a body, they're definitely the heart of that structure. So
I would absolutely say so. And I think something that stayed with me very strongly was lucky. The lucky few here, because I have felt so lucky from the minute that I walked in because of Remy and I forgot her name?
Yamina.
Yamina, and they just have been so welcoming and so giving and just smiles the minute you walk in, and it feels so wonderful to not only have a beautiful place but beautiful people inside and out.
They came to us through friends, very dear friends of ours, who actually used to run the hotel for us for years, a wonderful couple. And they had been gone for years, doing their own, living their life, having children and everything, and we were looking for someone years after they had left, and we contacted them just because they know a lot of people, and they recommended these guys, and it was a very good recommendation.
It was a perfect fit.
Yeah. So.
Well, I would agree that they're the heart, and anybody that comes to this hotel, they will definitely feel like one of the lucky ones.
Yep. Yeah, that's something a guest came up with, I believe, years ago. The lucky few, it just stuck. I love it.
I love
felt
it.
right.
My company is Lucky Kiwi.
Oh, there you go.
So that's why I was like, whoa, this is weird. It's a connection. That's what it is. So thank you, and thank you so much for taking the time to come out here.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Talk to us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your time with us.
Thank you.